Welcome back to the news. Now, taking a look at some local stories, residents in the northern province state that illegal sand smuggling in the north in the region had increased following the government's decision to abolish the permit scheme for the transportation of sand.
This is a common sight in Jaffna and Kilinochchi these days. Due to the increased sand mining by various groups, the trade has been met with strong opposition by locals. As a result of the ongoing activities, a clash broke out between residents and a group that has allegedly been involved in sand mining on the Kites Island in Jaffna. A tractor which had been used for the operation had been destroyed by locals. When they said there is no requirement for transport, this has increased. What is being destroyed here are our assets. We must solve this as soon as possible. 3 individuals who had been injured in the clashes have been admitted to the Jaffna Teaching Hospital.
An extraordinary gazette elaborating the duties and functions of new ministers and respective ministries was issued this morning.
Many institutions which fell under the purview of the Ministry of Disaster Management during the tenure of the former government have been taken over by the Ministry of Defence. Accordingly, the Disaster Management Centre, the National Disaster Relief Services Centre, Department of Meteorology and the National Building Research Organisation will operate under the Ministry of Defence. Further, the Department of Registration of Persons, the Department of Immigration and Immigration and the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board has also been gazetted to operate under the Ministry of Defence. The National Media Centre, Secretariat for Non-Governmental Organisations, the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team, Information and Communication Technology Agency of Sri Lanka and the Rakna Arakshana Lanka Limited has also been taken over by the Ministry of Defence. Moreover, the Office of the Chief of Defence Staff, Sri Lanka Army, Sri Lanka Navy, Sri Lanka Air Force, Sri Lanka Police, Department of Civil Security, State Intelligence Service, Ranaviru Seva Authority, the Sir John Kotalawala Defence University, Defence Services Command and Staff College, Defence Services School, National Cadet Corps and the National Defence Fund will operate under the Ministry of Defence as per the newly issued Gazette. The Defence Research and Development Centre, Sri Lanka Institute of National Defence Studies, Coast Guard Department of Sri Lanka and Lanka Logistics Limited will also fall under the Ministry of Defence. 48 institutions have been allocated to operate under the Ministry of Finance, Economic Policy and Policy Development, which is headed by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Those institutions include the Treasury, the Department of National Planning, Department of Fiscal Policy and the Central Bank. 23 institutions including the Department of Buddhist Affairs, Department of Archaeology, Public Performance Board, Department of National Museums and the National Film Corporation will fall under the purview of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Cultural and Religious Affairs, which Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa is the subject minister of. 17 institutions have been gazetted to operate under the Ministry of Urban Development, Water Supply and Housing Facilities. Accordingly, the National Housing Development Authority, the Urban Development Authority and National Water Supply and Drainage Board will fall under the purview of the Ministry of Urban Development, Water Supply and Housing Facilities. According to the Extraordinary Gazette which was issued this morning, 19 institutions including the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau will come under the Ministry of Skill Development, Employment and Labour Relations.
The media today questioned members of the government as to who functions in the capacity of the Minister of Defence under the provisions of the 19th Amendment.
The Constitution of the country has a clause that says the defence of the country comes under the purview of the President. The 19th is just an amendment. They could not touch the first few clauses. Chamal Rajapaksa is functioning as the State Minister of Defence. The President remains the head of the forces. They will function as per the stipulations in the Constitution. Yes, the Constitution has issues. If the President wants to present a cabinet paper, he can do it through any minister. If not, there is a Prime Minister. That is not an issue.
Now, this was the response of the United National Party on the Gazette that was issued.
ගැසට් එක එළියට දාලා තියෙනවා රාජ්‍ය ආයතන.
They have gazetted the state institutions. The President, the Prime Minister and Chamal Rajapaksa have 140 institutions among them. Then are the other ministers just scarecrows? The ministers are just shutting their mouths to feed on their ministerial bones. This is just nepotism with a different face.
පවුල් වාදේ නැවත වතාවක්.
The Constitutional Council is set to meet tomorrow morning under the patronage of its chairman, Speaker Karu Jayasuriya.
The Constitutional Council was created following the enactment of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution. Comprising of 10 members, the Speaker, the Prime Minister and the Opposition Leader are elected through their official positions. Parliamentary sources revealed to Newsfirst that the Prime Minister can attend the sittings of the Constitutional Council as he has been officially appointed. But the leader of the opposition, as nominated by the United National Front, Sajith Premadasa, cannot attend the meeting as he has not been formally informed of the same. This is due to the fact that he has not been formally recognized in his position at a parliamentary sitting. Hence, the Constitutional Council will meet tomorrow sans the presence of the opposition leader. Hence, MPs and civil society representatives who were formerly part of the Constitutional Council have been invited to attend tomorrow's sitting.
Now, Ghanaian Bannister Francis, the Swiss embassy employee who was allegedly abducted by an unidentified group, has been summoned to the Criminal Investigations Department once again tomorrow for further questioning.
The Criminal Investigations Department has been questioning Francis over the last 3 days under the permission of the Colombo Magistrates Court. While a statement is set to be recorded tomorrow as well, the magistrate has requested that the court be updated on the state of the investigations tomorrow as well. Meanwhile, the attention of the government's party leaders meeting has also been directed to this issue. This is a conspiracy. We now only have to find out who is behind this conspiracy. It is clear that this has been plotted.
ගෙතුව දෙයක් කියන එක අපිට තාමත් පැහැදිලිව
ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමාගේ මොකක්ද අදහස ඒ සම්බන්ධව
නෑ ගෙතුමාගේත් අදහස ඒකම තමයි මේ වගේ දෙයක් කරන්න හේතුව පිළිබඳව තමයි දැන් අපිට සොයා බලන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ
ඔබතුමාලගේ සාක්ෂි තියෙද
මොකද සාක්ෂි තියෙනවා
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔප්පු කරන්න සූදානම්ද
පුළුවන්
ආදී හිතලා තිබුණා ස්විස් තානාපතිතුමා නැවත ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ රටට කැඳවීමක් කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා ඔබතුමා ඒ පිළිබඳව දැනුවත් කරගන්න විදේශ රටක් තමන්ගේ
A foreign country can recall their ambassador at any time. They could summon the ambassador to reveal their country's official stance as well. They could also summon the ambassador to inform of the end of his tenure. Let's first clarify what the stance is.
කරගමු මේ සිදුවෙන ප්‍රචාරයන් කුමක්ද කියලා.
Newsfirst made an inquiry from the Swiss Federal Department of Foreign Affairs (FDFA) regarding these reports. A spokesperson for the Swiss FDFA said, quote, "This information is not accurate," end quote. The spokesperson further said the Swiss ambassador to Sri Lanka is currently fulfilling his duties in Colombo.
The Foreign Minister of Japan, Toshimitsu Motegi, is scheduled to arrive in Sri Lanka tomorrow.
Minister Motegi is set to land in the island at 5:30 p.m. tomorrow. His visit is set to see Japan formally extend their congratulations to the new government while also looking to continue their friendly relations with the country. He is due to meet President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena over the course of his visit.
Now, will the MCC or the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement will be it signed or not? Members of both the government and the opposition expressed their views.
I remember very clearly on that stage that they said Gotabaya Rajapaksa as president will rip up the MCC agreement. There was a fear created that the MCC agreement would create a corridor across the country and that it would not belong to us, dividing the country. Different politicians and professionals stated that this would even separate the country's historic sites. So we expect that the president and the new cabinet will, as promised, tear up this agreement.
MCC givisuma wahama iradamavi කියලා.
එයින්ද මෙහි අඩංගු මේ
With regard to the land ownership regarding 1/5 of our country's lands and the economic corridor mentioned, we will not agree to it. If we don't see both sides benefiting, then we are ready to come forward and discuss.
ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් සාකච්ඡා කරන්න අපි සූදානම්.
එතකොට
We would like to know how the MCC agreement suddenly became very good. It is simple. Tell the people of this country how America will not get freehold rights of our property in the economic corridor.
රටේ ජනතාව දැනුවත් කරන්න.
නෑ ඒක අපි අත්සන් කරනවා.
No, we will not sign it. In our President's manifesto, it clearly stated that we will not sign any agreement that will damage our sovereignty. They will not be able to sign the MCC during this government. On that day, I will not be in the government. I don't think President Gotabaya will be either.
මයිතන් ගොඩක් මාතේ ඉන්නෙත් නෑ. වගකීමෙන් නෙවෙයි මම කියන්නේ ස්ථීර සාරව නොබියව ඒ වගේම අවධාරණය.
Party Secretary Akhila Viraj Karyawasan said yesterday that the United National Party will contest the upcoming general election under the leadership of Ranil Wickremesinghe. Now, this was the reaction by other members of the party in this regard.
That is the party secretary's personal opinion. No such decision has been taken. Today, the seniors will gather at the Sirikota headquarters, discuss and find a solution for this issue. The leaders should feel the emotions of those in the grassroots level. I believe that they will take a decision taking these into consideration. We will hold discussions and decide on the leadership. For now, we have appointed Sajith Premadasa as the opposition leader. I believe with the mandate of the majority of the MPs, party leadership will be given to Sajith Premadasa as well.
Now, seen as while public representatives seem to be preoccupied debating over party symbols, what is the fate that has befallen over our citizens who voted them into power?
Yes, John, now the only feeling that is left with the people is deceit, and of course they are helpless. Now, we draw your attention now to two incidents, to two development projects which initiated in Kilinochchi, which bears testament to what we said before.
The bridge was constructed 2 years ago from the A9 route in Kilinochchi, Parandan along the Mattupetti road. While over 4 million rupees were spent for the construction of this bridge, a part of the bridge collapsed on the 6th of December, pushing those who depend on the route onto grave difficulty. Under the Gamperaliya program headed by the former government, the road reconstructed 3 months ago in Kilinochchi, Karacha Thiruvayyar faces such a fate at present. Residents further mentioned that the construction of this road was aided by S. Sridharan. Gamperaliya and many such programs that misused public funds in the present and former governments bears evidence as instances where public money have been squandered, and therefore the general public of this nation will teach those public representatives a proper lesson in the upcoming general election.
We now take a look at a report of the residents of a village suffering with no road access to the village, while the representatives of the people are squandering the money reserved for road development.
650 families reside in the Yahala Arava village in the Uvaparnagama area. These villagers, who find their main source of income in agriculture, have to use this road to access the village.
දළු ලොරිය එන්නේ නැහැ. වයසක කට්ටිය වුණත් විසේ තියාගෙන දළු බර ගෙනියන්න ඕනි කිලෝමීටර දෙකක්. ඇත්තටම මම්ම වැටිලා තියෙනවා පස් ගමනක් විතර මේ පාරේ.
බලධාරීන්ට අපි මේ සියලුම දේ කිව්වා. කිසිම ගානකට ගන්න නැහැ. මොකද මේ අපේ ඡන්ද විතරයි මිනිස්සු ගන්න බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ.
An example of the trouble the villagers have to undergo due to the road is exemplified in how they find difficulty in bringing the chief monk for a religious sermon to the village.
Sadhu, 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 sadhu.
This is what the villagers of the Bandaravadiya village of Dambagalla in Monoragala have to go through to access the village across the stream that surrounds them.
අපිට දේශපාලන කාලේ නම් ඉන්නවා ඉතින් මේ මහත්තුරු මේ පාරවල් මේව බලනවා යනවා ආයෙ එන්නේ ඉතින් ඡන්දයක් ලඟ වුණොත් තමයි ආයෙ එන්නේ.
හෙට පොලේ යන්න විදියක් නැහැ. මොකද කැන්ටි එක සමහර කට්ටිය නම් ඔළුවෙන් ඇදගත්තා. අපේ බඩු මහත්තයෝ ගෙවල් වල දාලා තියලා. ඉතින් මොනවත් කරගාලි දැන් අපි අඳුන් ටික ගෙදරින් අරගෙන විත් ඕනේ අර හෙට ගින් ඕනේ අඳුන් මාරු කරන්න. අපි දැනුම් දෙන්න තිබ්බ හැමතැනටම දැනුම් දුන්නා. මෙච්චර කාලයක් නම් කරේ නෑ.
Now, the seal which was spotted in the seas of Colombo over the past few days was spotted today as well. Today, the seal was spotted in Kolpiti.
Sri Lanka is very fortunate to have seen this juvenile elephant seal in our waters at a very crucial part of its life circle. Everyone who comes to see this animal, please be careful, please give it space.
According to our correspondent, the seal had been roaming in the area for nearly 2 hours. Marine biologists request the general public to not intimidate the animal, adding that attempts to catch the animal with fishing nets or attempting to treat the animal would only harm the animal.
That's a wrap-up of Prime Time News here on TV1.
Thank you for watching News First. Good night.